Alright, hello, welcome back to another video on this channel. This is R8 Learning 8. If this is the first time you're watching a video in this series, a bit of context, I've turned 23 today. Today being the 15th of April when I'm uploading this. And today, 23 videos are going to go out, entailing the 23 learnings that I've gotten from my move abroad until now. I think I just completed just over 3 years. And why I'm doing this is because whenever I turn a certain number, I do something around it. So like for example, 20 was me running 20 kilometers, 21 was me drinking 21 diluted shots of alcohol. Unfortunately, I regret the decision. 22 was me donating 22 meal boxes to an organization in Adelaide. Um, I felt that I've grown a lot over these years, so I feel 23 is the right age to talk about my learnings because now I'm closer to 25 than I'm closer to 20, which is I'm fine with it. But without further ado, let's get on to learning 8, which is how to deal with money. I think a lot of the videos in this series I've started off with addressing that everybody moves here for different reasons, and they move here when they're in different phases of their life altogether. You can move here for bachelors, masters, with your partner, without your partner, but on PR. So everybody has different priorities when they move here, and everybody um, has a different background altogether when they move here. But one thing that is consistent for everybody is money. I feel that money is a very important factor, is a very important point in the decision making for a lot of people when it comes to moving to Australia, moving anywhere, Canada, US, wherever you're moving altogether. Because without money, unfortunately, the world doesn't work now for people who don't have money, who don't have sufficient funds. Yes, obviously, you can go into the whole thing of, oh, you can be happy without money, but money is a very important aspect of each and everybody's life. This learning is something I learned the hard way, where I kept doing the wrong things, just chasing after money. I didn't have a very good relationship with money. I come from a background of a middle class family from Delhi, India. Um, and we've never been taught about abundance of money, about respecting money, about having a good relationship with money. All the conversation we used to have at home with our family friends, with our immediate family was, these we have X amount of funds. Let's get you this for your birthday, or we don't have that many funds right now, so we can't get that we can't get that to you for your birthday. And obviously you're growing up with friends who might have more money than you, or who might have less, who might have a lesser annual income than you as a household. So you get to know the differences in between different people and what their ideology is around money. My ideology around money was very negative. um, I was a hoarder. I was a miser. I was, just save every penny. Only expend on essentials. Don't expend on yourself. No nutrition, nothing. Um, so I was at a point when I moved to Adelaide, Australia in 2022. The good thing was that we were allowed to work full time, and there were so many job vacancies. So at one point, I had close to 4 to 5 jobs. So, and I'm being transparent with you all in this series. I was earning upwards of $1,000, $1,200 every week. And when a 19, 20-year-old sees that type of money coming into his or her bank account, especially when they don't have a very positive relationship with money, it's a little overwhelming. And for someone like me who was a hoarder, who was a miser, me earning that much used to save about 90% of that income, only spend a maximum of $35 to $40 a week on groceries, only eat the things or the convenient things that I can eat and get by with. There was nothing about protein, nothing about nutritions, multivitamin, what sort of things I should be eating as an athlete, as a cricketer, um, to get to a certain point to perform at a certain level. There was nothing about that. It was just about, okay, you work 50, 60 hours a week, get that pay slip, keep hoarding, keep hoarding, keep, see the bank account going up and up and up, and save 90% of your income. That led me to get 4 5 jobs, 6 jobs, and at this point I think if I actually make a detailed resume, I would have changed 10 to 12 jobs as a student, because it was just, getting even $1 more than an hour, or even getting a couple of dollars more in an hour, I would change, irrespective of how the conditions were. If the conditions were very positive at my prior workplace, the manager was very flexible, I didn't give a shit. I was like, nah, somebody's going to pay me more, I'll switch. So that was my mindset with money, and that is how I used to deal with money. Which slowly and steadily I started seeing that I was getting into the loop. I was getting into the cycle that each and every international student, I wouldn't say each and every, but majority of international students get into, around, or just focusing on part-time work, not focusing on things that will add on to their long-term career. Just keep working, do Uber, graduate, apply for jobs, not get anywhere, try to do another course that is in the PR list and get a PR somehow, some way or the other. That is not what I wanted to get into, and everything was correlated, right? If you see, casual jobs, casual jobs, casual jobs, money, 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 saving, saving, saving. Then an internal switch hit in my head where it went from, okay, I need to keep these casual jobs aside. I will only stick to a couple, and then I will start looking at full roles in my own occupation, in my own industry, which was marketing. That was really hard for me, because obviously the bank balance wasn't growing as much as it would have if I were to stick to those casual jobs. I was earning the base rate and I fortunately got a job in marketing, but I was earning a base rate just so that I could, build that portfolio and get that on my resume. That was really heartbreaking, because when you're used to earning an X amount, and you're used to saving an X amount, and you're used to seeing your bank account go up by a certain number every week, every fortnight, it's hard to trust yourself. It's hard to trust your intuitions. It's hard to trust your own decisions when it comes to money. Um, but how you do that is by trusting that you're making the right decision for the long term you. I trusted myself and a couple of mentors that I had with that decision, because I always believed that listening to someone who's been in Australia for a longer time than I have will pay me huge dividends, because they must have gone through the same thing, right? And at this point in time, I was talking to immigrants who've been here for 5 10 years, and maybe who made this shift when it was too late. Not too late, but maybe it was, you know, when they should have made this change, or when they could have made this change earlier in their journey. So I took that advice on board, listened to people who were more mature and who were more experienced when it comes to Australia, and made that switch, and went for it. I think that is where trust comes in. I think that is where having quality people around you comes in, and that is how you deal with money, to be very honest. Um, really, really depends on what sort of people you have around you. If your friends are of the same nature, where it's just job, 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 one job after the other, sixth job, seventh job, eighth job, and this is what I'm talking about, casual jobs, you won't get anywhere. Whereas if you have people who are doing something to build their portfolio in their own occupation, who are actually thinking about their careers long term, who are actually thinking about, if I do this, instead of this shift, I wouldn't earn money, but what I'd rather do is the probability of me getting a full-time job might increase just even by a couple of percent. I'll do that instead of going for that shift. So surround yourself with people like that, and be okay with delayed gratification, is what I mean. I hope this video added value. If you have any questions, obviously leave it down in the comments below. But I'll see you in the next one.